Hi, welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel. We're back here again with the 1962 Dorsett jet boat, and we've got a few more projects to do before we can get this in the water again. As usual, there's a pretty long list of things that need to be done with this boat, and I'm actually pretty proud that I've gotten the list down to a single page on the notebook. That's quite an accomplishment with an old boat like this. Today I'm going to focus on the things that are highlighted, and those are kind of the critical things that I want to get done so that no additional damage or wear happens to the mechanical parts or the electrical parts. And I've got a few bits and supplies that came in the mail to help me finish these off. I've got a new tachometer. Unfortunately, I was looking at two different tabs when I ordered this, and I ended up clicking on the 2-inch model instead of the 3-inch model. I'm still going to go ahead and hook this up, make sure this works. As long as this particular brand and model will work, I'm going to go ahead and get the 3-inch one that'll fit in the dash better. I have a battery disconnect switch, so I can just completely turn off the starting battery and keep it from draining if there's any shorts or leaks anywhere. And then I've got this battery isolator, or it has the instructions call it a sensitive relay. You always want to make sure to get a sensitive relay that will talk about its feelings, rather than an insensitive jerk relay. Anyway, the real reason for this is to be able to hook up two batteries, my starting battery and then a house or accessory battery, and this will allow both those to charge off the alternator so that you always have your starting battery available to start the engine, even if you leave some lights or the stereo on and drain your house battery. I also got some packing material for the jet drive shaft. That's supposed to help with some of that leakage that we've had. And then this little guy is probably going to be the most complicated thing today. This is the jet bowl seal. This keeps the jet lower unit oil from falling out on the ground, as happened last time. I think I'm going to have to do some more disassembly on the back end of the boat to actually get this thing in place, and then hopefully it'll stay lubricated and not cause any further wear to that impeller or jet drive shaft. So I've had some inconsistent starting issues, and I may have just figured it out. When I went to take the positive stud off the battery, it came off in two pieces like this, and looks like it really hasn't been making a connection anywhere except right there at the edge. Disconnect switch so we can turn the battery completely on and off. This is my battery isolator. I don't have another house battery yet, so the extra wire for that is just loose. This should be a better connection than I've had before. Alright, so the next thing is to replace this bowl seal. And I've got the jet all apart. I'm not going to show this entire process in this video because it took all day. Maybe I'll do a time lapse, maybe I'll just throw it in a different video. Moral of the story here is I've discovered the old bowl seal has been installed upside down, so the lubricant does not stay in the reservoir, so there's basically no lubrication on this drive shaft. And there are actually two grooves worn in the drive shaft where the bearings sit, so this drive shaft has been destroyed because somebody put that little $20 part in upside down. I'm going to put my $20 part in right side up. I'm going to ignore these giant grooves for now and just run this for a couple more times, and then next year we'll probably take it apart and do it right once I have the rest of these expensive parts and the expensive tools that you need to actually do the rest of this. So I'm pretty sure my reversing cup is still not opening all the way. This is full forward throttle, and the cup could still come up to give full unimpeded flow. So I'm going to need to fiddle around a little more with the linkage and get that adjusted so it's actually opening all the way. It's holding oil. It might not ruin that drive shaft as quickly as it was before. So that is a tiny bit of progress on the boat. I can check one more thing off the to-do list. Alright, so that jet bowl seal was literally all day because now the sun's going down. But I still have things to do if I want any chance of getting this boat out on the water this weekend. One of those things is the packing around the pump shaft. So I'm going to pull out the old packing and put in some new packing so it doesn't leak anymore. So what is packing anyway? Well, it's basically this waxed rope stuff that gets jammed in around the prop shaft, keeps the water from coming back from the prop into the boat. Or at least when it's new it does. When it's old, the water shoots all over the place in here. Alright, we're getting the thingy out that holds the packing in place. It's this like two-piece dingus here. It's pretty greasy. There's supposed to be at least 4 pieces of this junk in there. So far I've found 3. There we go. There's number 4. Come out of there. Got our new ones. Yeah, just start jamming that in there. Retainer dingus goes back in there. Forces everything in there tight. There's just a lot of grease in this entire area, so this is a very slippery, filthy job. I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit, and then we'll see what happens when we get out on the water. Alrighty, what's next on the list? Let's try a new tachometer. And again, I stupidly bought the wrong size because this one does not fit in the hole where the existing one is. But I can use this to even see if it'll work with this engine. If it does, I'll just get the next size up of this same brand. Alright, so we've got the new tach extremely professionally mounted with just tons of tape onto the depth finder here. Again, I just want to see if this will work. I want to get a bigger one so I can replace the old tach with it. Let's fire up the engine, see if this reads correctly. Alright, that works pretty much perfectly. So now we can rip out this little one and get one that actually fits in the dashboard. Alright, one more thing I want to do is put some spacers on the spare tire on the trailer, because when I'm going down the road it rubs on the boat hull here and it kind of makes some nasty rubber marks on the boat. So I'm going to stick some extra nuts on the inside of where that tire mounts and just have a standoff, basically. Have the tire be out here rather than right up against the boat. Alright, that's a lot more clearance here, so hopefully that doesn't just sit and rub against the boat when I'm driving around. Alright, so as usual, this thing works perfectly in the driveway. As soon as it touches water, nothing works. So we're out here on the river again, trying to get it started again, as usual. Also, there is still water coming in, but at least it's coming in from different places this time. Alrighty, it is working for now. I guess we're gonna go upstream, and then at least if it conks out, we can come back downstream. If this pirate flag gets too obnoxious, we can take it off. Alright, so the boat's definitely working a lot better now, and we were actually able to go on a little trip this time. I'll put the footage of that in a different video since this one's already running a little long, so you can stay tuned for that one. And then of course we will have several other videos of more repairs and ongoing work on this boat. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.